along the palatal side of the teeth. And I didn't do that. So this expander would have pushed out the 4 teeth, and that's a mistake. But anyway, you guys can figure this out yourself. You know, we can teach you and give you the tools to make the stuff. But you know, so forgive us when we go a little bit astray. Okay, can I share the screen? Action. Three, two,
Yes.
one,
Go,
go.
go. Yeah. Good.
Okay, is it my screen this time?
Yes, we can see your
Yeah.
screen. Excellent.
Perfect. Okay, I'll just bring in this little video here, if I can. Uh, it's just, all right, so you guys can't hear the music. It's blaring in my ear. So, okay, so I've been asked if we can make something like this. So it's got a housing and you put the little screw in there and then you
Okay.
fit it there and then you make this device.
I can't see it, Michael, the video.
You can't see it.
No.
Can you see it now?
No.
You still can't see it.
No.
Oh gosh, okay, I'm going to
Just share
stop
your other.
sharing and I'm going to share again.
Okay. One of the other monitors.
Portion of my screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, okay, let's do this. So, okay, this is basically what it looks like. And you're fitting your little expansion screw on the inside of these housings.
So, Michael, is this welded onto the housing? Can you just explain?
No, it's sintered.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's metal printed.
Yeah, it's metal printed. And then the screw itself gets placed inside of that and maybe glued in or something. So I'm not 100% sure. So let's give this a go and see how this works. Okay.
Okay. Oh, good.
And then at the end of the video, we're going to make a housing so that we've got it recorded. So if you guys got different expansion screws, you can make this yourself quite easily. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we've got an upper and a lower, and we've got 4 teeth that actually encapsulate the model. And now what we need to do, I've got the actual capsule here, and I've got the expansion screw on the inside there. Now, what we need to do is we need to open the bite. So if you scan the bite open, oh, well, that's good. Okay, so we can skip this step. So now I've made solid models. Please don't work on open scans because you can't print the models. Mind you, you could probably do some stuff with open scans, but in this instance, no, because we need to block out the actual model, get rid of the undercuts. All right, so we're going to go to the articulator. And as you know, we're going to name this one upper and the other one lower. Okay. And then we can put it on and import the mounting plate and or the table and everything. But I've done that. I've pre-done that before. So then what we're going to do is we're going to auto set up the condiles, which actually puts in an animation and it's going to open the bite a little bit. But we have to ascertain how much this bite has to be open. Now, again, I've pre-done this before in a video, so I sort of know how many degrees we need to open this bite. So at the moment, it's 1.6 degrees or 3.2 millimeters on an articulator. So let's open it maybe a little bit more. Let's put 1.8 degrees, or let's put 2 degrees. Okay, so it looks quite wide open. I don't quite know how this works because you've got 4 teeth then opening up the bite. So, but I've just been asked to do this.
Can you make more teeth, Michael? I'm just going to randomly bombard you with questions that come to my mind. So, can you make a occlusal platform or more crowns than just two on each quadrant?
Wolfgang, I think you can put crowns there. You could probably overlay that with like a splint layer, for example, and print the layer. So I think we're quite flexible there. So okay, so for now we're going to copy that one, but we're going to take the molar and the premolar on both sides. All right, so now that the occlusion is open, we're going to fix the lower model, and then that stays fixed like that. And we're going to delete the animation and delete the condiles. Okay, so we've opened it up. Now we're ready to start. Now, where do we start? So what I would think is we need to block out the model. Okay, so I'm going to take the upper model, go to the block out module. We're going to name this upper, create our offset. Now the offset here will be a little bit different because we're not printing plastic over the top of it where we need a massive offset. We are laser sintering metal. So this is again up to you to figure out how the fit is going to be. So, I've done a chrome cobalt before and I've used a 0.05 millimeter offset, which is very, very small, but it was a little bit tight. So maybe 0.08 or zero point 0.1. So it all depends. I'm going to put for tonight, I'm going to put 0.1. Okay. So we can see up close that it's been expanded all over by 0.1. And we're going to apply this and we're going to finish this model. Okay. So then we've articulated and then we have made a model that's bigger, but we still need to survey this model. So we're going to click on survey upper. And of course, we're going to try and get a good survey. Now I'm looking at the premolar and the molar. And then we're going to then create our passive model. And this is the model that we're going to work on.
So the
Wolf, have you
idea
got any
is, yeah,
questions?
the idea is to
Yeah.
block out all the undercuts, obviously, because if we're going to fit metal over, there's no flexibility. We have to make sure it goes on a passive model.
Yeah, sometimes young mouths are a little bit different. You don't have undercuts, so you could probably only take an offset model.
Okay.
So let's finish this, okay? Finish this model. And this is the model we're going to be working on. And we're going to go to we can, if you wanted to make bands, for example, you would then go to the splint module and then just make some bands with the paint on technique. But again, in this example, we're going to plonk teeth over the top of it. All right, so I'm going to unhide the other stuff and we're going to choose some teeth. So I'm going to go to the wax up module and we're going to import the generic teeth. Okay, so here I'm taking solid teeth, not hollow teeth.
So here,
And we're
can
going to
you import
choose.
your own tooth library as well? Doesn't really matter. But
Yeah,
but
you can import your own tooth library. So here we go. We're going to take these four teeth and delete the unwanted. And we're going to select them. And then we're going to plonk those in place. I'm going to hide the lower model. Okay, I'm going to put these in where they should go. Excellent. Now, we need these teeth to be a bit larger because you can imagine if we're printing these in metal, we need them to be at least 0.7 millimeters thick. And this is a little bit of a guesswork. In the crown and bridgework module, we've got like a zone, a spacer underneath it. So we can actually see how much 0.7 millimeters is. But in this event, we don't know. So this is a little bit of a guesswork. But if you're good at Blender, you'll be good at guessing how things are done.
of course
Sometimes.
you can do cross sections of it as well, hey, just to and then measure it.
Yeah, you
Maybe
know what
later,
I do?
can you do a cross section later and measure it?
I would probably say like in wireframe mode, we can actually see what's going on.
Because
So we
you don't want to spend this fortune on, getting this thing printed and then it's got holes or it's just too thin. So yeah.
look, well, in wireframe mode, we can sort of see what's going on.
Oh yeah.
But of course, we need to cut in the occlusion as well. So we can't forget about the occlusion. I would I would probably say the best thing now is to check the lower bite and then to put these teeth into a sort of occlusion if we can. So I'm going to sink them in a little bit deeper that we can cut them out with the articulator. Okay, so let's just do something like that. Okay, and we'll go to the articulator and cut those teeth.
Oh, so you do your cuts first.
Yeah, so yeah, I would make sure they are joined up and then we'll do the cuts. So these are the objects being cut, and this is the object that's going to be making the cut. and we're going to apply this little offset. And for now, I'm just going to make a single cut. Okay, apply a single cut so we can actually see through this.
Michael, let's
Apply
just
a
stop
single
here.
cut.
When you're making the offset here, I mean, generally, for just out of curiosity, when you're setting the offset more, will we have more clearance in the bite? In some
Yes, at the
ways, yeah.
moment we've got 100 micron, which is very little if you think about it.
Mm,
So you can make 200 micron or whatever. Yeah.
okay,
But
okay,
the reason why I'm only doing a single cut is because we haven't animated this lower jaw. So if you had put the excursive and the protrusive and all of that stuff in there, we could have done all of the cuts.
okay.
Do you know what
Yep,
I mean?
yep, yep.
So, but because we've got the two models standing still, we're only going to do one cut. Okay, and which we can see we've actually cut the teeth. Okay,
Okay. Yep.
so let's delete this object and then we can continue. Okay, I'm going to hide the lower, and in wireframe mode we will just briefly adapt those teeth onto around the actual model, if you know what I mean. So we're
Yep.
going to go wireframe mode, and then we can then go edit mode, and then we can pull. So I'll pull this downwards a little bit like that. Okay,
So
like that.
let's just get this right. At no stage do you go with sculpting tools and bubble out certain areas. You're only working with a mesh and pulling it out.
Yeah, correct, Wolfgang. So, but if I join these teeth all up, then we can do all of them in one go. So, which is probably easier that way. Otherwise, you're working on individual teeth. Okay, so let's just pull it, and it's a bit like pulling a sock over a foot. You see,
Yeah.
like this. Okay. Oh, okay. But it is gone back to individual mode. So, but that doesn't matter. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So I'm pulling them down to the margins more or less in edit there, like that. Okay. So I think I'm almost happy with what I've got. I think that ought to do the trick. Still this one here. Okay.
So
Awesome.
just show us
Excellent.
the effectiveness of the pulling motion with the rolling of the mouse wheel. Some users are a little bit not too sure on how to set this.
All right, so as soon as you click on edit mode, we have the magnet tool invoked and we have the proportional editing um, engaged as well. So if we go G on the keyboard, we've got this mouse wheel. As we're moving this mouse wheel, it'll move all the vertices within that diameter. Can you see?
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so if you make it smaller, it kind of pinpoints the area of the G key, the pulling motion.
100%. Yeah,
Tell me about the
100%.
magnet. When this is a magnet, what's it magnetized to? I'm just going to ask you the weirdest questions. So, okay.
Look, Wolfgang, if you got the magnet tool on, it will adhere to the underneath model. So anything that's underneath it will stick to. If I take the magnet off, for example, it won't. You can see how it goes inside the model. Okay,
Oh,
so
you,
we don't want it going inside the model.
yeah.
So we want to make sure the mag snap tool is on so that it actually adheres to the model. And if you want to bring it out by a certain amount, say by 0.5 millimeters, then we can just click anywhere. Oh, so we're working on this one, anywhere, and then click on this, pull out by 0.5 millimeters, and that'll then bulge it out by exactly 0.5, or it can push it in as well.
So, in what
But
direction does it move when you push pull or push or pull?
towards your eyes or away from your eyes. So it's
Okay,
like exactly into the screen or out of the screen.
okay.
But so we are finished with this. So okay, we're just going to make this whole thing texture. So we're going to just join these up, and then make them into. Okay, so we're going to just sorry. Um, okay, they have changed names now because we've actually cut them. That's why they've changed names. So always pay attention to what these things are called as well. I think we are ready to actually make our tubing.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I've got this that I've designed. And by the way, these capsules can be found inside our freebies folder. But like I've said to you, I'll show you how to actually make these capsules. The inside is parented. So when I move this one, everything else moves with it. So I'm going to go R, Y, 90 degrees. It isn't parented yet. So the shortcuts, Wolfgang, the shortcuts, where can we find the shortcuts?
Well, in the blue folder of the module, any module, so Model Designer, in the right blue folder, there's a PDF for shortcut keys. So you can just print that one out.
Good. So parenting is quite important. It's Control P, or unparent is Alt P, and that gives you the opportunity to parent certain things. At this moment, the blue capsule is a parent, and then the screw on the inside is the child. Okay. So R Y 90, and we're going to move this down. And of course, I don't want it touching the model. I want to keep it slightly above. Okay. And then we're going to, if you wanted to fix this in position in the model designer, click on lock, and that'll lock it. And that's a good idea because you don't want it to move anywhere. All right, from here, we're going to draw our tubes. So in the splint, look for tubes, which is over here. And we're going to select this specific model, but it's a good idea to call this target model. Okay, and it will change color, so it'll just go into white or whatever. And then we're going to draw the tubes. So draw tube, and in this instance, the dropper, we use the dropper on the model, which then in Blender terms, it shrink wraps it onto the model. And the shrink wrap, we can decide how far away we want the shrink wrapping to offset. So in this instance, it's been offset by 1.5 millimeters. So if I look at, if so we're going to extrude this to where we want.
So offset from
And
where, Michael? From the model as such? Is that like,
yeah,
so it's
I'll demonstrate.
standing in the air by 1.5, is it?
Yeah, so this is 2.53 millimeters. You can set and select how far you want the standing in the air. So just say, for example, 1.5. Again, I'm not into orthodontics, so I don't 100% know how far, how far to offset this. Let's say 2 millimeters. So if you want to make this thinner or thicker, at the moment we can't really see these vertices, but in transparent mode they become evidently clear. So if I go A and then Control A, we can then decide how thick or thin we want this to be. So if you want to laser sinter this and you want to have it to be 1 millimeters, so how can we tell what 1 millimeters is in diameter? It's quite easy. You go to the item, and here we can see that the radius, the mean radius is 1.5, 1.5. And if I scale this, Control A, don't use S, S won't work. So Control A, you can see on the screen on the right hand side, the radius 1.82 millimeters and so on.
On the left.
So on the right hand side over here.
Oh, okay. But you see it on the left as well, up top.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, Michael,
Thanks, Will.
all those
Thank you.
years. You pay attention to detail, Michael.
I didn't know that. Okay. Well, that's good to know. But here's something that you didn't know. Okay.
Okay.
You can, if you wanted to make it lopsided, you can do that.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So,
I
you know,
didn't know that.
you can make it elliptical shape if you want to. Okay. So there's a lot we can do. So say, for example, we keep this at 1.5. Again, I'm not sure what the best strength is, or 1.3 or something. So let's get out of wireframe mode, and we're going to view this from the top. Use the G key like that, and I'm going to go quite close to this, and the E key, and we're going to now move it up to the other side like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. Okay, so here I've gone a little bit high, but that's okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to extrude it from this side. Okay. And we're going to take it up to there. Okay, and then maybe up like this. Let's extrude that downwards like that. So we're very flexible on how we're going to design this thing. And I'm going to take it like this.
So, Michael, this offset,
Sweet, sweet.
just coming back to the offset, it offsets it away from the model, but not the crowns, because those are separate, different objects, is it?
They're different objects, Wolfgang. They're
Okay.
different objects. But that's okay, because we can deal with, we can still edit this afterwards. So here, of course, we may want it to touch better.
Yeah,
So
because
it's
that's
a
what I
bit
was saying.
finicky.
I was thinking about how we're going to make contact with the palatal surface of those premolars now. That's not,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So so maybe what we do is we offset a little bit less. Okay. So let's try that. Okay.
okay.
In the splint,
Or
we're gonna.
can you go and pull those vertices closer to the teeth that are specific? Can you go
No, we're
in?
touching already.
Oh,
Look, we're
you're touching.
touching already.
Okay, all right.
We are touching already. Okay. So a little bit of design work and a little bit experience. Again, this is only the second, I think only the second one that I've attempted. So we can do whatever we want here. And then once we finish with this, we're going to then solidify it. Note that this is not where I want it to be. I want it to actually be higher onto the actual capsule. Okay. So let's do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to voxel remesh this, which will actually like solidify this thing. And it is quite a fine mesh. I don't need it that fine. Let's put it 0.2. Okay. And then we're going to apply this. Now from here, we're going to edit this a little bit. I'll take the alpha value off so we can actually see what we are doing. So I'm going to go into edit mode, tab edit mode, and now we're going to grab this, make sure the magnet tool is off and the proportional editing tool is on. Remember, if we have the magnet tool on, that little vertex is going to snap onto our capsule, and it's going to flatten everything. So
Mm.
we don't want that. Okay. So the proportional editing is on, and we're going to then use the G key and grab this upwards like this. Okay. So we can manipulate this mesh the
Oh,
way we
so that
want it.
brings me back to my other question. So some teeth that you want more contact on now, you can do that.
Correct. So we can still do if you're too heavy somewhere, just lift it away from the model if you want to. Okay.
Yeah. So here it's penetrating into the capsule. So is that okay?
Yes, because we're going to cut this. So you can do it in two different sections if you want to. The left section and then the right section. But to cut a lot of time, I think that doing it in one go and then just splitting it and separating it is probably a better way to dealing with it. Okay.
Okay.
So this side I'm going to move in there. Also, please note that I haven't hollowed those teeth yet, and I'm not going to do it because we're going to do it right at the end.
At the moment, they're
The
still
fit, the
solid teeth library teeth.
yeah, there
Mm.
you go.
Oh,
Okay, they're
okay.
solid, and we're going to leave that for now. Okay, so now it's time to do a bit of cutting work. Okay, so we're going to we're going to select our little, looks like a jungle gym from primary school. Okay, we're going to go to the model designer, and there we're going to go to our square cutting tool, and I'll just set this to local. So if you guys don't know what local and global means, if we, sorry, I'm going to set this to global. If we put this, oh, this zoom thing is coming in my way. Okay, so global, if we set this to global, we're working on the Y and X of the actual blender, as opposed to the local axis of the specific. Because if I put here, if I look at this tool here, move, you can see the green arrow is the Y. So I can easily go now scale Y, and we can scale this up. And I want to make a cut. I want to cut this bar into two pieces like that. I don't need proportional editing for this. And we're going to keep the outside. Okay, so you can see how it's cut through there, and we're going to apply that, accept that. Okay, so now we've got them split. If you do want to sculpt this, you can round this corner off, but I'm not going to do this in this video. So that's the first cut that we've done. The next cut that we have to do is we have to cut the inside of this one, because if you look carefully, it protrudes through into our capsule. Okay, now we can't have that, otherwise our screw is not going to fit in there. This is why, because we don't have a cutting tool, I'm going to be using the capsule itself to be my cutting tool. So I'm going to take this one, and we can go to the splint or any one of these, they all do the same thing. Select object being cut, which is this one, and we're going to take the capsule and cut it. Okay, so note it's been cut, but you can still see it. Okay, that's because the capsule itself has made a cut. So in cross section, so I'm trying to be as precise as what I can. You can see it's nipped it off there, which is really cool. But how are we going to get rid of the inside? And that's very easy, because in the model designer, we've got the button called clean. So we're going to take a vertex of this specific, and we're going to go to the model designer and click on clean. And note how it has cleaned away the inside completely. Perfect. So let's do the same thing again, just to recap. I'm going to take this. That's my object that's being cut. Take the dropper. That's my object that's going to be used as my cut. Apply that. Then we're going to go into edit, select a vertex, go into the model designer, and click on clean. See, it's cleaned it out perfectly. Okay, so the next thing we need to do now, when you do selective laser metal sintering, it's not, most of the machines that I've come across, they want a closed one mesh. So it's not like our 3D printers in the office and whatever, where we can have a lot of different objects together, and then send it to the printer and then it'll print. No, no, no. With their equipment, most of it, they want one specific mesh. So we need to make a mesh out of all of this. Okay, one mesh. As you know, I can you can see these are like three different parts. One, two, three, even more. So yeah, okay. So let us do that. I'm going to separate these first. This is a little bit tricky, but once you understand how it works, it's actually quite easy.
At what
So
point
these
do,
four,
sorry, at what point do you cut the inside of the crown? Before you making this as one object or after?
no, Wolfgang, because when we use a voxel remesh, we are actually mucking around with the inside fitting surface, like
Mm.
the splint. So what I do recommend, we leave that right to the end.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
so this is a good time to do this. So we're going to separate the objects. So I've got all of these objects separate, and then based on that, we will then take what we want. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. Shortcut key is Control J or join up top here.
Or right click and join.
Ah, you do that, eh? Okay, Shift. I'm going to take these.
Test it.
Okay. Ah, there's a join. You're teaching me things. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so these are joined, but they're not remeshed yet. We're going to go into the wax up or the splint. The wax up has one. They're all over the place and they look the same. So we're going to go voxel remesh,
So this
and
part is
then
blue because you chose it last or first, is it?
yeah, it adapts the color of the parent.
Mm,
So
okay.
if we had done it other way around, it would have been a different color.
Oh,
Okay,
good to know.
so we've done a voxel remesh, and it is one mesh. The whole thing is one mesh.
Is that a fine
It's it.
mesh that you want for laser printing?
Well, look, 0.1. It's not too bad because it's not too black. You know, when this one is quite fine. Okay,
Mm.
but I think it'll be okay 0.1. It doesn't have to be that fine. Let's try 0.2. Okay, 0.2 is like that's also good. Okay, because if you look at a dental model, for example, a scan of a dental model, it's around about like that. Okay, so let's leave it at 0.2, and we're going to do the same thing with this one. So voxel remesh, 0.2, and apply. Okay. So the last bit that we still need to do, I've got this one. So this has parented, it's lost its parent because we've remeshed this one. But it doesn't matter, we don't need it. Okay. So the lucky last is we're going to then make our surface. Okay, so that's the object being cut, and this is the object making the cut, and apply. Same with this one, object being cut. Excellent.
So can can you use an offset to cut it as well, Michael, instead of just a straight Boolean cut?
Wolfgang, we've already offset it with
You,
when we blocked it out.
yeah, that's me not
Okay.
paying attention again.
Okay.
You
So
did that
so
in the blockout module where you offset it, correct? And we had a talk about it.
yeah. So that sort of completes it. I mean, here's our little thing. So I
Excellent.
think it's a good time to open up our microphones if there's any questions.
Wow, that's all metallic.
Yeah. Anyway, excellent. Okay. Good.
Ah, super job. Well done. Okay? I won't ask any more questions. But just
We
have you
can
guys?
still make the capsule, Wolfgang.
Oh
We can
yeah,
still design a
maybe can you show us how to make a capsule? That would be interesting, just in case we don't have one. You know. By the way,
yeah,
can we scan this orthodontic expander and then make the
how do
capsule? Is that
how do
possible?
you mean scan it?
Scan the actual orthodontic expander component, the middle piece.
I suppose that's possible. I'm getting a terrible noise. I don't know
I've
why.
I've just muted.
All right, guys, if you've got an orthodontic screw that sort of looks like that, could be medium, large, or whatever it is. Wolfgang, you're recording, just so we've got this on video anyway.
Yeah, we are recording, Michael.
So tilde key, I'm going to look at it from the front side. Okay, I will duplicate this because we want to maybe keep a copy of it. So Shift D to duplicate, and I'm going to move it into a different collection. I'll call this hidden, and we're going to click OK. Okay, and we can hide this hidden one. Okay, so the other one, the original one, we're going to cut this one to pieces. So I'm going to make sure it's selected, shift right click to select it. We're going to go to the model designer, and we're going to go to the square cutting. Okay, then we're going to go S to scale, and I'm going to go G to grab it, and we're going to take this down. So I don't quite know where your little screw expander slot is. You're going to have to find out where this expander slot is, because this makes a big difference. Then what we're going to do is we're going to keep the outside because we want to keep the top of it, and we're going to accept this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to make a blocked out model of it. So in the block out model, we're going to call this upper, and well, it could have been lower or upper, doesn't matter. We're going to create the offset. Now this will determine the fit of your little, your expander in this actual thing, because this is a positive model. So if we set this is something that you guys have to experiment with as well, because I don't have the answer for that. Let's do 0.1. Okay, so that's quite tight fit. So maybe we want it a bit looser. I don't know. Okay, apply this, and we're going to, you can see the voxel remesh is 0.2. It's not fine enough because it's such a small object. So let us set this to maybe 0.05, okay, which is nice. It gives us a bit of detail, and we're going to finish this offset. Then what we're going to do is we're going to block this out. So we're going to go this time, think of this as a bottom model with the teeth standing up. So we're going to say this is the lower model, okay? Survey lower. Don't touch this because it's looking straight down at it. And we're going to create our passive model. Okay. So this will block it all out. Are you guys still with me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So here we're using the Blender for dental add-ons to create stuff that has nothing to do with teeth, which is absolutely awesome. Okay. So again, the voxel size is a little bit too big. I'm going to set this to 0.05. Okay, so to give me some nice detail, and we're going to finish this passive model. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the splint module, okay, and we're going to call this target model, and we're going to use a paint on layer technique. So paint on, okay, and voila, we're going to paint it on. Now, to sinter chrome cobalt, like a palette, for example, we're looking at 0.7 millimeters. I wouldn't go thinner than that. I think 0.7 millimeters is quite good. So again, this layer needs to be double. So we're going to put here 1.4, which will then give us a layer of 0.7. And I'm going to coat this like a paint your roof of your house, Wolfgang.
Stop picking on me.
Okay,
I'm actually not
awesome.
allowed
So
to paint. My wife doesn't allow me to paint. I'm way too messy.
okay, cool. Okay, so we've covered it. Perfect. Covered it. Make sure there's no holes in it. Needs a nice coating. Nice, perfect. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to accept this layer, okay? And then we're going to finish it. Again, the voxel size is too big, 0.05, okay? Oh, perfect detail,
So
okay?
this
And
is
we
this
don't need
is
to smooth it,
this is a
yeah?
good example of why we have all these settings in the block art module, because we've often been asked, oh, can't you just run default values? But we do sometimes want to just go outside the module and do things like this. And if we had
Yeah, yeah,
default values, there's no way we'd be able to do this kind of magic.
yeah. So, just thinking a little bit further forward, we may want to block out an orthodontic bracket. Now, Wolfgang, we've been talking about this with ortho brackets. Instead of covering it with a splint layer for indirect bonding, why not have a capsule on each and every one of these ortho brackets
Mm.
with a little bit of an extension so you can, wipe away the glue excess and so
So
on.
you can build your own library of orthodontic capsules that house your brackets. So for your splint, so for your template, so you can place the orthodontic brackets. Then maybe you can
Correct.
make a video. Have you got a video for that, Michael? Because you could
No,
store those in the component library. Then with nice photos and things.
could do, could
Mm.
do. All right, let's go into square cutting, scale that up, and this time we're going to cut away the bottom section like this. Okay, so keep outside. Excellent, and apply that. Now we've got one capsule finished. Okay, now we need to mirror image this capsule, but note that the if I click on this capsule, there's this orange dot, which means that is our origin. Now, if we mirror this, it won't mirror exactly where we want it. We want this we want this origin to be in the center of Blender Workspace. Now, I don't see the center of Blender Workspace, but we're going to go shortcut Shift S. Shift S, and then we're going to go cursor to world origin. So this is my world origin in Blender. Then I'm going to right click and I'm going to go set origin to 3D cursor. Okay. Note that the orange dot is here now. We're going to go to a modifier that has nothing to do with our modules. The modifiers are all found in the properties toolbox where the spanner is. Click on the spanner and we're going to be selecting a mirror modifier. Okay. And the mirror modifier hasn't worked because it's placed it on the x-axis. We want to place it on let's place this on the z-axis like this, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to apply this, okay? And here's our finished capsule. This one we can delete, x delete. Let's view our other capsule, which is in the hidden box. And we've got our beautiful little capsule there. Wolfgang, tell me that you've recorded this.
Yeah, yeah, I have. Don't worry.
You have.
It's a
So in
good
cross section,
good trick to use.
there's still one more thing that we need to do. We need to cut the insides out.
Yeah,
Can
that's
you
right.
see what I've done?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So, we need to go a few steps back before we actually
yeah,
deleted
because you
our.
had the 1.4 millimeters protruding inwards, so you need to just
I
cut those.
forgot this. Yeah, because this is our offset model. Do you remember? This is our passive model. We
Yes.
need to take this one first. So let's go into splint module.
So object being cut,
Select. Yeah, and we're going to take this one and then apply that. Yeah, and
and
now we
then
can delete it.
mirror image that again.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So it just skipped one step. We'll
Mm,
just wait for it to
that makes
cut.
sense. Mm,
Yeah. Oh, something's happened which wasn't supposed to happen.
okay.
Let's just take this back a step.
So Control Z.
Okay. Yeah. I should have mirror imaged it beforehand, I think.
Okay.
Let's try this again. What I'll just go and remesh this one. Voxel remesh, and then we'll just cut it. Okay. It's all good.
Mhm.
So, okay, voxel remesh this one, 0.05. Okay, apply this, and then we're going to cut this. Okay, Um, so splint. Okay. Where am I? Here, that's my crown module. Yep. So that's
Can we
yeah.
have the crown module yet?
Not yet. No. Apply that. Okay. Okay. So let's just hide this. Yeah. So here we go. Okay. We'll just do the point of origin is still below, I think. Yes, it's below. Mirror image that. So properties, spanner on the Z axis, not the X axis, and apply. Okay, so that's completed. Perfect. Okay,
Excellent, excellent. So now
in
we have
cross section,
100 microns is enough offset.
yeah, so we can see that's 100 micron offset. Okay,
Excellent, awesome.
perfect. All right, good.
Now, well done, Michael.
Okay, stop my screen share.
So we will post this one so you can come back to it for all the shortcuts and things. Any questions, guys?
Thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll find my thumb. There's my thumb.